What's good? What's good? It's your man, Sir K. Tell you what it do. About to talk about Starship Troopers. You already know what it is. Hope everybody having a cool day, cool afternoon, cool evening, and a cool night. Shouts out to everybody. But it's been a minute. It's been a minute. I think the last major virtual reality I did was I think it was the Truman Show. I think that was episode 32. So that was episode 33. Like I gotta add everything again because I hope I ain't missing no numbers. I know a couple got deleted. I think my episode 13 got deleted, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not really sure. But either way it go, I got a lot of Matrix versus realities, and I cover all the great movies, and Starship Troopers is one of them. Starship Troopers is on my list of great movies, but we need to really look at Starship Troopers again and understand what really went down. Because when it came out in 97, I really wanted to know, like kind of like afterwards, like why my mama take me and my brother to go see this motherfucking movie? I'm like, because all these actors, I ain't really, know. I never, like knew none of these actors that was in this movie. But my mom recognized Michael Ironside. So I think that's why she wanted to go see it, because Michael Ironside was in it and Gary Busey's son was in it. So I think she probably recognized those two. She was like, I'm going to check it out. But 1997 was a good motherfucking, yeah. Do you hear me? 97? What? Good summer. And plus, there was a lot of good movies that came out that year too. But Starship Troopers, man, that shit was fucking lit. That shit was lit. But you gotta talk about it. Space Nazis, y'all. That shit was about space Nazis. But there's a breakdown, that we're gonna get into. This ain't gonna be a long video. Today's Saturday. Plus, after this, I gotta make me something to eat. I ain't eat nothing all day. You already know what it is. But shouts out to everybody coming through. Hope everybody having a cool day. Salute. Jordan, what up, though? What's good? What's good? You seen Starship Troopers before? Because if you haven't, you got to check it out. You got to check it out. Salute, eyes wide shut. If anybody seen Starship Troopers, you already know. Like with the eyes that we have now, we understand what Starship Troopers was really about. You know what I'm saying? But we was blinded by it was a sci-fi action flick. I know I was motherfucking brainwashed by it. This shit is lit. The only good bug is the dead bug. Feel me? But shouts out. But I ain't been on StreamYard in a minute. So like that means we ain't gonna be playing no music because it sounds horrible. Like once I get a computer, I could be able to download some shit and be able to play the music while I do my shit again. But they just took the feature off the phone, and I find that to be highly bullshit. But welcome to Matrix versus reality. You feel me?
Here's a tip. Aim for the nerve stem and put it down for good. The devastation we are seeing is unparalleled. Judging from early estimates, millions dead, a city in ruins. Is that Geneva? This fight's left is coming. The meteor was shot out of orbit by buff plasma that derived from Pandaphi, the arachnid's home planet. Nothing lives in what was once home, the Baccarat paradise. Lieutenant, it's us. Buenos Aires. has been wiped off the earth. The Federal Council met moments ago and voted unanimously for mobilization to destroy the arachnid threat. I want comments. The only way you're going to see comment is if you bust yourself to pride. Get me? Yes, sir, I get you. Sir, what do you want, Rico? I was to reconsider my request to drop out, sir. You already signed your 1248, son. It wouldn't be legal. Major, I know it was wrong. I didn't learn from one mistake and I made another, sir. You made your decision, son. Sir, my whole family was in Buenos Aires, sir. Is this your signature, Rico? Sir, yes it is, sir. Doesn't look like it to me.
Here we are, bro.
Here we are. Yes, sir.
We're back, Rico.
Out of the ashes of Buenos Aires comes first sorrow, then anger. The only good bug is a dead bug. In Chile, the Federal Council convenes. We must meet the threat with our valor, our blood, indeed with our very lives, to ensure that human civilization, not insect, dominates this galaxy now and always. Sky Marshal Deans announces plans for an offensive against Clandestine, source of the bug meteor that destroyed Buenos Aires. Every day, federal scientists are looking for new ways to kill bugs. Your basic arachnid warrior isn't too smart, but you can blow off a limb. Still 86% combat effective. Here's a tip. Aim for the nerve stem and put it down for good. Would you like to know more? Everyone's doing their part. Are you? The war effort needs your effort. At work, at home, in your community. We now bring net and take you live to Fleet Battle Station Ticonderoga, deep inside the arachnid quarantine zone, where the men and women of the Federal Armed Services prepare to attack. On 2, 1, you're on. No one here in the AQC knows exactly when the invasion of Clandestine will occur, but everyone's talking about it, and the talk says tomorrow. Here's a bunch of MI kids that look like they could eat bugs for lunch. Yum, yum, yum. So, Trooper, you're not too worried about fighting arachnids? Shoot a nuke down a bug hole, you got a lot of dead bugs. I just hope it's not over before we get some. Some say the bugs were provoked by the intrusion of humans into their natural habitat. That a live and let live policy is preferable to war with the bugs. Let me tell you something. I'm from Buenos Aires, and I think
Kill them all.
So what do you hear about our new unit? Roughnecks killed more bugs than any other house on Big Ten. Yeah, well, I hear their lieutenants are real nutbuster. Who's top pick? You want the job, huh? I wouldn't mind. I would. Just doing fired. Orders. Yours? Where's been besides Big Ten? Outer Ring, Zegama Beach. Zegama Beach. I always wanted to go there. Good luck. It's not there anymore. So I hear your lieutenant's real nutbuster.
No one talks about the lieutenant that way. Saved my life.
One, two.
Same for me.
Me too.
Sounds like he's quite a guy.
Who do you think saved your ass?
Stand by. Attention on deck. for you new people, I only have one rule. Everyone fights, no one quits. If you don't do your job, I'll shoot you.
Get you, sir. Guys, Roughnecks.
At ease, listen up. Got a new sky march and a new battle plan. Gonna clean out the system's outlying Clendan to one planet at a time. Before we can tango Gorilla. After fleet glasses the planet, MI bombs up. Carry on.
That's why I got that speech from. Only got one rule: everyone fights, no one quits. You disobey me, I kill you myself. Do y'all fucking get me? Yes, we fucking get you, sir. Welcome to the revolution. Hurricanes revolution. Welcome to the Roughnecks. Hurricanes Roughnecks. Would you like to know more?
Officer on deck. Carry on. Burial detail. Dismissed.
That is. How are you, Carl?
Carmen, good. Johnny, I'm sorry it had to be your unit on P. That mission had a very low survival probability. The bugs laid a trap for us, didn't they? Elegant proof of intelligence, isn't it?
I still laugh at this
There
scene.
might be a brain bug on P.
You knew and you sent them anyway?
Couldn't afford to launch an operation if there wasn't one. You don't approve. Well, too bad. We're in this for the species, boys and girls. It's simple numbers. They have more. And every day I have to make decisions that send hundreds of people like you to their deaths. Didn't they tell you, Colonel? That's what the mobile infantry's good for. I hope you're ready for more. We're going back to P.
Oh,
The Roughnecks are always ready, sir.
this
Need
is
a new
still
lieutenant.
funny.
Want the job? I'll take it. Till I get killed or you find someone better.
Attention, all personnel report to you.
And then we go to this.
This is for all you new people. I only have one rule. Everyone fights. No one quits. Don't do your job, I'll kill you myself. Do you get me?
Who?
Welcome to the Roughnecks.
Rico Roughnecks. Nah, let's get off into what Starship Troopers is really about. This is Matrix versus reality.
Force has resolved more conflicts throughout history than any other factor. The contrary opinion, that violence never solves anything, is wishful thinking at its worst. People who forget that always die. Sounds like an excerpt from an early 20th century political manifesto, doesn't it? A phrase
We need to hear that again.
force has resolved more conflicts throughout history than any other factor. The contrary opinion, that violence never solves anything, is wishful thinking at its worst. People who forget that always die. Sounds like an excerpt from an early 20th century political manifesto, doesn't it? A phrase steeped in social Darwinism that any dictator would gladly sign their name to. But the paradox is that these words are spoken by a character in a 1997 sci-fi blockbuster, Starship Troopers. Hey everyone, you're watching Second Take. When Paul Verhoeven's movie hit theaters, critics were deeply confused. Major publications tore the film apart, accusing it of having cardboard characters, stupid dialogue, and, worst of all, being blatant propaganda for militarism and fascist aesthetics. The Washington Post wrote that it was a movie glorifying war for the sake of war. Regular moviegoers, on the other hand, just munched their popcorn, watched the spectacular slaughter of giant space bugs, and went home, treating the film like a typical summer thrill ride. But today, almost 3 decades later, it is absolutely obvious. Both the critics and the audience were watching the screen through a massive blind spot. They didn't realize that Hollywood had just spent $100 million to fund not a mindless action flick, but one of the most biting, vicious, and precise political satires in cinema history. A satire that surgically dissects the anatomy of a totalitarian society. Let's take a closer look at this masterpiece and break down the optical illusion created by Paul Verhoeven. depth of iron. We need to go back to its roots. In 1959, American sci-fi author Robert giant bugs united by a hive mind and devoid of individuality were a direct, barely veiled metaphor for the communist threat. And the author saw only one answer to this threat: an extremely harsh, militarized society where civil rights had to be earned with blood. And Heinlein wrote this in absolute
It
seriousness.
says civil rights have to be earned with blood. You want to become a fucking citizen, you gotta join the mobile infantry. You gotta put your motherfucking life on the line. Murder, your life's on the line. Ain't nothing too bad. Ain't nothing too strong. Ain't nothing too dangerous to get what I want. I made a deal with glory. I made a pact with pride. Put on my honor. I put it on the line. I put it on the line. I put it all on the line. The only good bug is a dead bug. This motherfucker wrote this shit during the Cold War when shit was serious. Like, man, this shit is wild.
Almost 40 years later, the studio buys the rights to this book and hands the project to Paul Verhoeven, a director who grew up in the Netherlands during the Nazi occupation. A man who, as
The Netherlands during the Nazi occupation. That shit. Nah. Nazis in the Netherlands? What? What the hell was going on? I need to look up some shit.
child saw real bombings and military patrols on the streets of The Hague. As Verhoeven himself recalled, he only managed to get through a couple of chapters of the novel before throwing it across the room. The text felt unbearably right-wing and militaristic to him.
That motherfucker was reading that shit. He's like, man, get this shit out my hands. He was reading that shit. If he wanted to shoot the goddamn TV but couldn't, he had to throw the book. Nigga threw the book at the goddamn TV. He's like, get this shit out of here. But
instead of turning down the project, the director makes a genius decision. He takes Heinlein's aesthetics and lore and flips them inside out. He decides to adapt this fascist utopia exactly as if the fascists had made the movie themselves. The first thing that catches your eye upon a closer watch is the terrifying, almost sterile perfection of the characters. The first act of the film takes place in Buenos Aires. The main characters are named Johnny Rico, Carmen Ibanez, and Dizzy Flores. Spanish names, South America. But look at their faces. They look like genetically modified models off the cover of a glossy magazine. Flawless skin, square jaws, athletic bodies, piercing blue eyes, and blonde hair. Verhoeven deliberately cast the film using the visual codes of 1930s Nazi propaganda films.
Shit, wild. He used Nazi propaganda films to structure this shit. And speaking of the Nazi occupation in the Netherlands, let's get off into it. Because remind you, this is Matrix versus reality. He made this shit based on what the fuck was going on around him. So Nazi Germany occupied the Netherlands from May 1940 to May 1945. Damn, 5 years. Nazis over there in the Netherlands clowning. Transforming into a strict civil administration under Arthur Seyss-Inquart, enforcing harsh anti-Semitic policies and exploited its economy. The occupation saw the deportation of roughly 107,000 of the 140,000 Dutch Jews, of whom few survived. Damn. Invasion and surrender. Following a 5-day battle, October 14th. Wait, no, let's say 10-14. What the fuck? What the fuck is say 10-14 in May 1940? What the fuck? But anyway, and the bombing of Rotterdam, the Dutch army surrendered and the government fled to London. It fled to London. The administration, the Nazis installed a civilian regime aimed at Nazifying the country and looting its resources, with 16,000 of 30,000 Jews in hiding surviving. The Holocaust. About 70% of the Dutch Jewish population was killed. Jesus. The highest rate in Western Europe. Resistance and hardship. Despite initial soft occupation tactics, the regime grew harsher, culminating in the hunger winter of 1944 and 1945. Jesus Christ. The hunger winter. I call it the Hunger Games. Liberation. The country was fully liberated by Allied forces by May 5th, 1945. So who came in to save the Netherlands? I need to find out that. But that's the story of what happened in the Netherlands during World War II. Man, shit, wow. But back to Starship Troopers, they made it fully about motherfucking fascist propaganda.
Specifically, the work of Leni Riefenstahl, we are witnessing a cult of youth, strength, and physical perfection packaged in the aesthetic of a Beverly Hills 90210 style teen soap opera. Verhoeven shows a society that hasn't just conquered poverty or disease, it has called everything that is imperfect. And here lies another fascinating nuance that makes Verhoeven's satire so modern. Look at the United Citizen Federation from the perspective of social norms. It is a society of triumphant equality. Men and women train together, fight together, sleep in the same barracks, and even take communal showers without the...
Even take showers. Like when I saw the Starship Trooper scene, you know, like with that chick with the nice tits in the same shower, I was like, okay. I'm like, this is real full equality in this motherfucker. This chick got some nice ass tits. But it's like full straight military. Ain't nobody thinking about none of that crazy shit. Like, we all warriors in this bitch. She's a warrior with the nice tits. She's another warrior with the nice tits. I'm gonna have to think about it when I get to my bed. I can't think about her in the shower. They're gonna beat my ass. So what the fuck you looking at, soldier? My bad. You got some nice tits. Oh. That scene, motherfucker, blew my mind in 1997. I was mad that she got her arm burnt off. I'm like, that chick has some nice tits. Katie has her big ass tits. I'm sorry. But they do everything together.
Slightest hint of sexual tension. Women command starships on equal footing with men. There is no racism, no sexism. It seems like a true progressive utopia. But Verhoeven uses this trope to reveal a horrifying truth. The totalitarian meat grinder doesn't give a damn about your gender or skin color. Fascism equalizes everyone in the face of the state machine. To the Federation, you are just a piece of meat, a resource to be thrown into the furnace of war. Equality here is achieved not through respect for the individual, but through the complete destruction of individuality. This cult of the state is reinforced by the ideology revealed to us in the classroom scene. And here lies a brilliant screenwriting trick. In Heinlein's original novel, the philosophizing school teacher and the hardened combat lieutenant were two completely different people, but Verhoeven and screenwriter Ed Neumeyer intentionally merged them into a single character, Lieutenant Jean Razchek. Why? To expose the terrifying core of a militaristic society, the ideologue brainwashing children at their school desks, and the commander who later personally leads those same children to the slaughter are the exact same person.
That shit was cold. When the teacher, I'm seeing him as a teacher, aka shouts out to Michael Ironside for playing a motherfucking sergeant or captain. I mean, he was the teacher. Like in the beginning, you know, like Rico is in the classroom and they talking. Michael Ironside gives that motherfucking speech and shit. And then when he gets to the mobile infantry, the fucking teacher walks in the room, nigga, I'm your captain now. Let's get this shit. For all the newcomers, I only got one rule. Everyone fights, no one quits. You disobey me, I'll shoot you. He's like, I'm like, yo, you know, and plus, like he had that metal arm. He touched Rico motherfucking chest. Like, I got one rule: everyone fights, no one quits. Carry that shit with me through the revolution because we're gonna need that mentality. First things first, you got to get over the fear. Second, you got to know how it feels to put a hole in the body. So you're gonna have to go through some of that wanted training too. Like if anybody's seen the movie Wanted, y'all remember that training? They ain't gonna be that fucking brutal shit. Just like learn how to shoot, learn close quarters combat, learn Assassin's Creed, Metal Gear, and Splinter Cell, and Hitman 47 tactics, and we in the motherfucking dough. And learn how to hack, and we good. We fucking good. Now everything else could be strategic. Oh yeah, and plus we gotta learn guerrilla warfare and learn how to, let's just say, go native, just in case the bullets run out. Using the elements, I like to say. You better do what John Rick did and turn a fucking library book into a motherfucking neck breaker. This motherfucker killed the nigga with a book. John Wick killed the nigga in a book in part 3 with a book, and he went against like some type of fucking 7'1,000" Russian. He killed that nigga with a book. Okay, and I think the movie before that he killed the nigga with a pencil. Like, come on. That's what I mean by going native or using the elements. You got to use what you have around you to your advantage. By the angle slam a nigga through a fucking wood table with some shit. Use the forks. Use the forks instead. I wish the force was real, man. I'll go into a government building right now, fuck everybody up. Like, do they ass like the first scene of A New Hope with Darth Vader just opened up the door and just slaughter everybody in the hallway? I want to do a motherfucker just like that. Like you. But let's get back to it.
The one-armed veteran casually explains to his high school students why the concept of democracy is a failure. It is here we learn the main secret of the world order. In this world, people are divided into two castes, citizens and civilians. Want to influence politics, have the right to vote, build a career, and have children? You are obligated to serve in the military. Think about this.
Obligated to serve it to the military. Otherwise, you're going to be a civilian in the low class. You got to be a citizen. Got to become a citizen. So let's just say if we was born in that time, or we was born in the Starship Troopers universe, let's just say if you want to be somebody, if you want to be somebody, if you want to go somewhere, you gotta grab a gun to become a citizen. Join the Navy. I think in China, like, you obligated to learn the martial art. You can't just be over there. I think you got to go to a school to learn the martial art. If you don't, you might get arrested. Let me know if I'm right about that. Let me know if I'm right about that. I'm not really fucking sure because I heard it and I never looked into it. But let me know if that's true, that you forced to motherfucking learn the martial art. But either way it go, that's no different from some Starship Trooper shit. You're forced to go into a fucking military and put your life on the line. Murder, your life's on the line for the state or for the government or just like for the sake of the human fucking race in general. This whole world could be like that, if it wanted to, just like Us Against Aliens. We have a perfect paradise, no pain, no death, no sickness. But in order to get all these good ass fucking privileges, you got to put your life on the line. So the question is, if we was in that time, would we fuck with the government? I mean, will we fight for the government to become whoever we want to be? We can't get no business and we can't get shit. So no telling what the civilians are going through because they don't show that side of the movie. But if we would have saw that side of the movie, the question is, what the fuck is going on with the civilians? How poor are they? How are the conditions? And why the citizens not helping out? Because everybody is just like living in luxury and shit. Johnny Rico looked like the perfect motherfucking being that the motherfucking Hitler wanted. You're like, you're a genetic perfection. Johnny Rico. Saludo Sensei. What's good? But yeah, the question. If we was living in Starship Troopers world where like the only way to be somebody is to put your life on the line, would you do it? Would you fucking do it? I wish they would have showed like this like the civilian part, but they did. We're gonna go back.
The school teacher and the hardened combat lieutenant were two completely different people, but Verhoeven and screenwriter Ed Neumeyer intentionally merged them into a single character, Lieutenant Jean Razchek. Why? To expose the terrifying core of a militaristic society, the ideologue brainwashing children at their school desks, and the commander who later personally leads those same children to the slaughter are the exact same person. The one-armed veteran casually explains to his high school students why the concept of democracy is a failure. It is here we learn the main secret of the world order. In this world, people are divided into two castes, citizens and civilians. Want to influence politics, have the right to vote, build a career, and have children? You are obligated to serve in the military. Think about this concept. Voting here isn't an inalienable human right granted at birth, it's an elite privilege. In class, Rico recites the memorized formula without hesitation. A citizen accepts personal responsibility for the safety of the body politic, defending it with his life. Lesson learned perfectly. In a society without nations, the ruling elite needs a new artificial barrier to hold on to power, and that barrier is the monopoly on violence. But how do you force millions of young people to voluntarily march to certain death on the other side of the galaxy? Verhoeven answers this question by brilliantly anticipating the future of media.
So they'll live in
He
line.
introduces broadcasts from the galactic network, FedNet. Notice the recurring prompt. Would you like to know more?
And you gotta think about it. It's called FedNet. That shit called FedNet. That should have been a red flag. But this is 1997. I'm a kid. I wasn't even a teenager yet. I'm 9 years old. But this movie was fucking awesome. I still love this motherfucking movie. But looking at it with the eyes that I have now and seeing it again all the other years later, like when I was searching for truth and shit. I mean, like, oh, like when I was searching, yeah, truth and a whole bunch of other cultures and shit. Being the seeker, just like watching movies again and just looking at, I'm like, man, this is a fucking space Nazis. But the movie is still great. But the person that wrote this shit, this motherfucker was living during the fucking time where it was fucking wild. The fucking Nazi occupation in the Netherlands, the fucking deaths, that shit was wild.
Is a direct prototype of internet hyperlinks and modern clickbait. Long before the era of social media, Verhoeven showed how media shapes reality through short, aggressive, and interactive information bites. We see upbeat clips where smiling soldiers hand out combat rifles to kids. We see
handing guns to kids. That shit was wild in Starship Troopers. Handing the guns to the children, like, what the fuck?
Members gleefully stomping on earth cockroaches while their mother proudly applauds. Violence is normalized. It has become a family pastime. And through these news broadcasts, the Federation enforces a cult of death. In a totalitarian society, death in the name of the state is always placed above an individual's life. Remember the funeral scene? The heroes don't mourn the lost youth of their comrade. They recite a memorized phrase about how he had the courage to take responsibility. Death is perceived not as a tragedy, but as a career achievement, a bullet point on the resume of a perfect citizen. But let's move on to the film's main conflict, the arachnids, giant, ruthless bugs that destroyed Buenos Aires with a meteor. Isn't a war against them justified? Isn't this a war for survival? If we watch the film like obedient FedNet viewers, then yes, but the director leaves plenty of clues for the attentive viewer that the Federation's official narrative is falling apart at the seams. Let's start with the very cause of the war, the asteroid striking Earth. If you apply basic logic, this story doesn't hold up. We are told that bugs who have no technology, no spaceships, and no factories somehow calculated the trajectory of a rock across the entire galaxy to pinpoint one specific city on Earth. Meanwhile, the Federation's impenetrable planetary defense system somehow missed this asteroid and let it through. The film subtly hints that the attack on Buenos Aires is a classic Reichstag fire scenario, a perfect casus belli, a pretext created or at least allowed by the government itself to justify an endless war. Humanity was the first to begin expansion, invading the habitat of an alien civilization. There's a brilliant scene where a TV journalist asks a highly analytical question on live television. Would the bugs be hostile if we just left them alone? And what happens to this doubt?
Would the bugs be hostile if you just left them alone? And right after the news guy saying that shit, that motherfucker got burnt.
Literally a moment later, this journalist is ripped to shreds by a giant bug. Case closed. The criticism is physical.
And then when the nigga was getting lifted up in the air, the cameraman that was covering the shit, he leans up closer to get a close-up footage of the shit. Type in Starship Troopers reporter death and pay attention to the cameraman. Nigga, I'm supposed to got the fuck up out of there. The cameraman is like, nigga, I'm getting this footage. Nigga, I'm getting this motherfucking footage. I'm like, hell fucking no. I'm like, this movie is the fucking shit. I'm talking about because I want, it's a great buildup. It's a great buildup. It's a great buildup. Johnny Rico at his home talking to his parents. He getting into it with his dad and shit. You know, dad don't want that nigga to go to the mobile infantry. You know, like Johnny Rico is going because like his girl is about to become a pilot and shit. So he like, shit, man, I ain't about to be nobody out here. Nigga. I'm about to go be something. I'm doing it for our love, baby. This is for, you know, this is for us. I'm kind of mad at Carmen. I love Denise Richards, you know, like she a badass. But I wasn't looking at her like a badass chick in that movie. I like the Dizzy. Dizzy could get it, and that black chick that knocked out Jake Busey. So she got a fucking arm burnt off. This was fuck. But anyway, Johnny get into it with his pops. He go to the school, deal with the shit. He's in the sports. He played the football. He win the game with Dizzy and shit. You know what I'm saying? Walking off with his girl and shit, you know. And then, you know, and they both sign up. You know, and the fucking motherfucker that played Doogie Howser, what's his name? Neil Patrick Harris, you know, he had some shit with him, the telepathic shit. I'm like, okay. Then now when it's finally time to, you know, sign up to go through the motherfucking shit, I'm like, all right, good build up. Now you on the planet. It's chaotic like a motherfucker. Lights in the sky, flashing lights. I'm talking about niggas was dying before they even made touchdown. Motherfuckers in the ships, strapped in and shit. The motherfuckers throwing up. Motherfuckers is like, nigga, it's wartime. Motherfuckers is nervous. Motherfuckers is scared. I'm motherfucking scared. I'm like, oh shit is going crazy. As soon as they touched down, like everything fucked. The first thing they did was retreat. The casualties was fucking crazy. Seeing the bugs for the first time was fucking scary. I was like, this is what they gotta fucking fight. I was like, whoa. And like the way they just killed the motherfucking cameraman. I mean, you know, when they killed the reporter. And I was like, oh man. And then a Rico guy hit in the leg. I was like, oh shit. He went out like a G. No, I think he just like passed out after the bullets ran out. But oh man. Shit was wild. Shit was wild. You know, when the war gets crazy, shit got crazy. And then like when they went to another planet, it was in the daytime though, because the first time it was at night, but the daytime, when they go to the base and the bugs there, the motherfuckers was flying, decapitating niggas. I was like, what? They flying, decapitating niggas? No. This shit is crazy. And then that's when the commander told motherfucker Rico, you know, like right after they had to kill one of their own, but like the other one was suffering though. motherfucker, just shot that nigga with the long scope and shit. It was like, I expect all of y'all to do the same for me. And like right when the captain was dying, the nigga pulled in Rico. He was like, nigga, you know what you gotta do. Rico looked at his captain, stood up, aimed his gun at the captain, and blam, blew him away. And he got sucked in a hole and shit. I was like, damn, don't want that nigga to suffer. I feel you, Captain. I feel you. Let's get back to it.
We eliminated from the narrative. It's a stunning metaphor for censorship. Any doubts about the state's righteousness are drowned out by primal fear of an external enemy. By the way, the choice of the enemy is another stroke of genius. Why bugs? If we look at history, linguistic dehumanization is always the first step toward mass extermination. In Nazi Germany, Jews were compared to rats. During the Rwandan genocide, government radio referred to the Tutsi people as cockroaches. By turning the enemy into giant insects, the Federation completely removes any moral dilemma for its soldiers. Nobody tries to negotiate with a cockroach in their kitchen. They just crush it with a shoe. The clips featuring scientists only show the search for new, more efficient ways to kill. The enemy is dehumanized to the absolute limit, justifying any atrocities committed against the alien race.
Yep.
Our channel is still very young, and your support is the only thing that allows us to continue searching for costumes in the film, for hidden meanings in beloved films. So if you enjoyed this analysis, please like and subscribe.
If you still doubt Verhoeven's intentions, trace the evolution of the costumes in the film. The higher the heroes rise in rank, the darker their uniforms become. The protagonist's best friend, Carl Jenkins, a mathematical genius and telepath, goes to serve in military intelligence. When he appears on screen toward the finale, his look leaves no room for doubt. A long black leather trench coat, a specific visor cap, steel accents. Costume designer John Mollo, who previously created the look of Darth Vader for Star Wars, was working here with direct historical references to the Third Reich. Verhoeven is literally screaming at us through the visual design. Look at who you've been rooting for this whole time.
Yep.
The main tragedy of Starship Troopers, and simultaneously the proof of its masterpiece status, is that its heroes learn absolutely nothing. In a classic Hollywood movie, the hero goes through the hell of war and achieves an epiphany. He realizes the value of peace, understands that the system is rotten, and either rebels against it or rides off into the sunset a broken but wiser man. But Johnny Rico and his friends remain completely blind. They lost loved ones. They witnessed a senseless meat grinder where command repeatedly sent infantry to the slaughter due to their own miscalculations. Yet, by the end of the film, they are only more firmly integrated into this fascist machine. Rico becomes a commander, and with that same radiant smile, leads a new generation of kids to the slaughter. Carmen becomes a Starship captain. Carl turns into a cold, ruthless intelligence manipulator. Notice how this trio comes full circle in the finale. They represent the three main pillars of any totalitarian state: the army, the navy, and the secret police. They have become perfect, well-oiled cogs in the system. And when Carl reads the emotions of the captured brain bug and gleefully announces to a crowd of thousands of soldiers, it's afraid, and the crowd erupts into primal cheering at the sight of a defeated creature's fear, we realize that humanity has lost. Not the war against the bugs, but the war against themselves. Paul Verhoeven created a unique trap of a movie. He invited the audience to identify with attractive, brave heroes saving Earth from hideous monsters, and the majority of viewers in the late 90s happily walked right into that trap, not realizing they had started cheering for a totalitarian regime. Starship Troopers came out in 1997, in an era when many Western thinkers were seriously discussing the end of history, believing that liberal democracy had won globally and there would be no more major wars. But just a few years later, 9/11 would happen. The global war on terror would begin. News broadcasts would feature bombings through the green screens of thermal optics, and the world would plunge into an us versus them rhetoric. Verhoeven's satire turned out to be more than just a biting mockery of an old book. It became a terrifying prophecy about how quietly a society can trade its freedom for the illusion of security, about how easily propaganda replaces critical thinking. And today, when we watch complex geopolitical conflicts get reduced to short slogans and the dehumanization of opponents, one thing becomes crystal clear. Starship Troopers isn't sci-fi about a distant future. It's a documentary about our present. But what do you guys think? Did you watch this?
Yep, that's Starship Troopers, y'all. Make sure y'all watch it because it's still a good fucking movie. Shout out to Michael Ironside. I think that's why my mama went this motherfucker go take us to go see it because she liked Michael Ironside character. You know what I'm saying? So, that's probably the reason why she took us to go see it. But because I ain't know nobody in that movie. And like by 97, I was a young ass movie buff. You know, because I think I saw Forrest Gump maybe like 2 years earlier, and like that was the movie that made me be like, not all movies supposed to be action packed and shit. So it was like, okay, I started just fucking with every movie. You know, 'cause my auntie had a shitload of movies, and my cousin was the bootleg man, so he had a shitload of movies. It was like 3 movies on one VHS tape. Sometimes 4 movies, depending on the depending on the length of the film. So it was like bet, you know what I'm saying? So I just sit down and just like watch movies, and sometimes like my favorite movie be like the last movie, and so I'm like, damn, I got to fast forward through like 2 movies and shit, like motherfucker, like 5 minutes of fast forwarding until like one day I was like, you know what? I'm gonna watch this shit. I'm gonna watch the movie. Let me just watch this shit. I'm like, damn, this is a good ass motherfucking movie. But this is Matrix versus Reality, Part 33, Starship Troopers, connecting movies with reality. It's been a minute since I did this. It feels good to come back to it. Shouts out to everybody, and I'm gonna catch you on the next one. Well, the only breaking news. The U.S. just bombed Iran. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to the JVJ network. We covered that over there. Earlier. There's like a midday Saturday stream. I didn't know he was even gonna go live on a Saturday in the midday. He usually probably go Saturday, play the game a little bit. But shout out to the JVJ network and Let's Talk with JVJ. You know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all subscribe. Like we was we was clowning last night. Last night was cool. You know what I'm saying? And make sure y'all watch that video too. And we shared the stream and shit on my channel also. And shout out to everybody. Hope everybody have a cool day, cool afternoon, cool evening, and cool night. I wish I could play some music, but I can't play the music if you're on the stream yard. It'll sound horrible. But I'm glad I didn't get kicked out my own shit again. Well, shout out to everybody. This your man, Server Kane. Shout out to Eyes Wide Shut, Live and Learn, Jordan. You know what I'm saying? About to make me some lunch. And then probably work on some music. But much love to my guy that's vibes over there in the UK. You already know, sending love, positive energy, healing energy to you. You know what I'm saying? And shouts out to everybody that's gonna watch this on the playback. It's your man's Hurricane. I'm out. Matrix versus Reality. Part 33. Oh shit, they go to number 33. Goddamn. Fuck Illuminati, fuck the Freemasons, fuck all them evil sons of bitches that run this planet. That's right. Gotta get that fucking government out. The only good government is a dead government. Only got one rule. Everyone fights. No one quits. You disobey me, kill you myself. They all fucking get me. Yes, we fucking get you, sir. They may take our lives, but they would never take our freedom. Yeah. I would not walk quietly into the night. I would not vanish without a fight. We're going to live on. We're going to survive. Today is our Revolutionary Independence Day. Revolutionary Independence Day. Hell no. Well, like all those speeches is the shit though. But shout out to everybody. I'll catch y'all in a minute. Peace.